Will be Neville Hewitt and James Rouse on defense, Chris Jaspers and Cato on offense. And as I've mentioned many times, anytime you go on the road, it's critical that you get great leadership. It's critical you play with great toughness, and that's going to have to happen not only with those four guys providing leadership, but the rest of our guys on our football team doing the same thing. U.A.B is a much improved football team, as you guys all know. They put up over 500 total yards on offense against the Mississippi State team. Played extremely well, played them right to the wire, and have done that a lot throughout the year. They got a receiver, Nelson, is probably the fastest guy in our conference. I think he had 220-some return yards against Louisiana Tech, who's a good football team. And they got a running back, Howard, that'll be as physical a running back as we played all year. So it'll be a great challenge for us on the road. We're going to have a great week of preparation and to make sure we're prepared to go play that game.
What's made them better? I mean, it seems to be a pretty big swing from like 2 wins last year to already 5.
You look at them a year ago. They had some good play. I mean, the number one was there a year ago, Nelson, and he ran by us once a year ago. He was good in the return game. They had a tailback that was his number was not number 7. He had another tailback besides Howard. Howard started ahead of him that went to the NFL and is playing for, I think, the Ravens right now. But and of course the Howard's back, and I thought they had good players a year ago. I think Coach Clark's done a tremendous job with them. I mean, he's got them motivated. He's got them playing hard, and like I say, they've got players. They've got some good football players, and he's coached them up. He's got them believing in themselves, playing extremely hard, and you can tell by watching them on film.
Is there any difference in scheme between?
A little bit, yeah. Yeah, they're a little bit different. I mean, they're still a 3-down front. They played some 3-down stuff a year ago. They're similar there, but they're playing it better. They're getting lined up and executing their techniques and fundamentals, which he's done a good job of coaching.
It seems like they live and die off big plays. They give some up. They have fumbles at inopportune times, but at the same time, they can hit you for that 100-yard return or 80-yard.
Yeah, I think they got like 3 receivers average over 19 yards a catch, which is unusual, 3 of them. The tailback, they do a good job running the football. They're going to try to establish the run, which they have against a lot of good people. And then they take shots, as you mentioned. They'll take a lot of shots, and I guarantee you one's ran by everybody. And Mississippi State's got some really good athletes in that secondary, and he's run right by them too. So, we're going to do a great job of knowing where he is. And just like he's like 15 was with Rice a week ago, but they got a couple other guys that can play too, and he can run. He's a lot faster than what 15 was. He can run by you.
Last 2 weeks, your all pass defense. 114 to a Southern Miss team that likes to throw the ball a lot, and then 99 to a Rice team that has Taylor. What's been the biggest? I mean, they were good early in the season. What's been the biggest jump over the last 2 weeks that's made them even better?
Well, I think getting Baxter back's helped us. We didn't have Baxter a year ago, but being able to take Corey Tyndall and putting him at the nickel position, and he was on 15 a lot in that particular game, and he had 9 catches, but it was like 78 or 80 yards. So we'll be able to deal with that. But I think getting Baxter back healthy and can play the wide corner position, allowing us to move Corey Tyndall to nickels helped us. And of course, Daryl, Roberts is playing well too. So I think also our defense, Chuck's done a tremendous job of taking away the strengths of whatever offense we're playing, and he'll have to do that again this week.
Team that basically makes over half its points off of turnovers. How big is it this week coming in of knowing the importance of taking care of the football, don't give them those extra possessions you talk about so often?
I think that's always the key. Is taking care of the football offensively. That's part of the plan to win. And when we've played great defense and taken care of the ball and been solid on special teams, we've played really well, and it'll be no different this week.
It seems like, looking at their stats, it seems like when they're stopping the run, they're successful. When they're not stopping the run and teams are able to sustain on them, they're falling in those games. How important is it to establish that early and get out of the gate quick?
Well, I think it always is. I think you said 2 things. To start fast, and we've been successful when we've done that, and also having the ability to run the ball. And it's any time. And I think it's any football team. If you got the ability to stop the run, you got a good chance to win. And so it's going to be critical, and that we. They create a lot of issues for you with that 3-down front. They got a lot of people coming from a lot of different areas. They create a lot of problems with their alignments and that type of thing. So our guys are going to do a great job preparation this week and knowing where they are and getting hats on the right people, because that 3-down stack look that they give you, and it's different about every game. They change up a lot of things from game to game. So we've got a lot of work to do this week and getting guys lined up and making sure we can identify where they are and getting hats on the right people.
Perfect example. didn't have that type of running game, and they were able to really cause some confusion for the first 3 quarters.
They were, and again, I thought we handled it well a year ago. You know, they were no different a year ago. I thought we handled it well, and we've worked on that a lot this year. Had its first game of the year against Miami, a little bit. Worked on it a lot. So, you know, we'll spend a lot of time on it this week and make sure we're able to identify it.
And the guys are saying by now, guys in office are saying by now they've just seen they're convinced they've seen everything thrown at them between, you know, the last few years in games and what you coaches have been able to throw at them. I mean,
well, I think, Doug, you got good. You know, you got Chris Jaspers up front, who's played maybe started more games than anybody else in the history of college football at this point, and he's extremely smart. You got Van Horn up there. You got Swede. You know, you got guys that have played an awful lot of football, and they can identify fronts, and then they got an offensive line coach that's as good as anybody. So, you know, he gets them lined up, and nobody works harder than what Jaspers and Coach Mirabal and all of them do to make sure we're prepared to play, and it'll be no different this week.
It's sort of under the radar for them. Clements, the quarterback. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, you can have weapons outside, but if you can't get it to him, that's an issue. What has he done to really elevate his?
Well, you know, he went to Washington State originally. He graduated from junior college in California, so they just got him out of California, and he can throw it and he can run it, and he's doing a good job of managing that offense. And so he's a guy that started out again at Washington State, ended up in a junior college last year, played a lot of ball there, and then got there, and he's starting to understand that offense, and he's executing it well for him.
Talking to a lot of the guys offensively yesterday, they said that they wanted to score quick because they wanted to see the defense go back onto the field and watch the punishment they were delivering in that game. What was it that brought the physical element from that defense that really stood above all the other games this season?
Yeah, you know, we tried to. I mean, we want to be a physical football team and a tough football team, and I think we have been. And I think, you know, I think they took it upon themselves a little bit. We got physically beat up a year ago by that Rice team. I mean, to call it like it is, we did, and didn't play well. And Rice was more physical than we were, and I think they took that as a challenge. But I don't think that game Saturday was the only game we've been physical. I think they played physical all year because they take great pride in doing that. And we're going to have to be physical again this week because that U.A.B. team, they are physical. And you can't get out physical up front. And I thought our offensive line did that Saturday against Rice. And I thought our defensive line played well too. So that's where it starts.
how do you go from the atmosphere you had here Saturday down there to, you know, it's kind of an empty Legion field? How do you tell your kids to kind of prepare for that?
Well, we tell them. I mean, it's hard to prepare for it. I mean, we walk out their day, tell them look around. You know, I mean, they're going to see it. But you know, I think they've had better crowds there, and they're successful. They're playing for bowl games, so I'm sure they'll have a lot more people there than what we've seen in the past going down there. But you know, we can't worry about that. You know, we got to worry about ourselves and bring our own energy and feed off each other, and it is what it is. And but we got to be concerned. Like I said, get ready to go play and play with great energy and don't worry about what we can't control.
Could Bedvick end up being one of the MVPs of this game simply by keeping it out in Nelson's hands, and he's averaging 36 yards?
Yeah, he's concerning because, you know, you get 5 or 6 yards deep, he may bring it out too, you know. So, you know, we're going to have to do a great job of covering kicks, and not only kicks but punts. He's also back there with punt returns. So, you know, you got to know where he is now. I mean, he's on punt returns, he's on kick returns. They're going to take shots down the field. So, you know, like I say, he had 200-plus return yards against Louisiana Tech, and he's very capable of beating you in all 3 of those phases.
You were talking about bringing your own energy. This team doesn't seem like it's had a problem in doing that. I mean, they've been able to stay up in a lot of different environments.
Yeah, I mean, we have, and you know, they're going to have to do the same this week. There's no doubt. And but you know, we've gone to FIU, we've gone to Akron, we've gone on the road and faced similar situations, and it's going to be critical that we do this, that we react the right way again this week.
You like the early game? I mean, it's
Yeah, I do.
there and you get to just wake up and go play.
Yeah, I do. I just don't like sitting around a hotel, so it's good. You get up and go play and get home in time and watch everybody else play. So, plus, it gives you more time to prepare for the following week. And it'll be good this week because we'll get back on Saturday at a decent time because we got a day less to prepare for the following week, which is a good thing.
That's Gary. I know you guys have been hopeful.
Gary's fine. I mean, Gary practiced yesterday, he'll practice today. Gary will play on Saturday, so he's good. It's good to get him back.
That must be, you know, I know you guys were, you know, hopeful when it happened and kind of maybe a little bit worried, but that has to be pretty good, you know, to get a little bit more depth in the
No, there's no, you know, it's great. Like I say, with, you know, the way Armand's and Joe's playing now, you know, it's kind of happened for us all year. You know, with receivers, when we got Devontae back, when McManus had got some experience, and some of those younger guys, the same thing with the offensive line. You know, there's other guys that kind of stepped up and played well, and now we get Gary back, who was a starter for us at one time, and Joe and Armand's and those guys have played well, so it just adds to our depth there, which is going to help us.
Talk about a guy stepping up. Holly Foster catching his first touchdown pass this weekend. What's it been about him? Did you watch his progression through camp where he's now going on the field early in games?
Yeah, well, you know, he's been a talented guy. We said it all along, and I think it becomes a point where you can trust him, you know, to get him out there and as young players. And I looked out there Saturday in some critical situations, and I looked out there. We had McManus at one wide out. He was a freshman. Angelo, the other wide out, was a freshman. I saw Yurchek, the tight end, was a freshman. I saw Heilig out there as a slot as a freshman. So I kind of looked up Billy. I said, what the hell are we doing? We got 3 or 4 freshmen on the field at the same time, and all of a sudden Yurchek catches a touchdown catch, and then Heilig does the same thing. So it's positive. I mean, they're young players, but you know, they're not freshmen anymore. I mean, they've played a lot of football for us now, and we trust them. And those 4 guys are going to be around here a long time. I'm glad they are, because they're going to be really good players.
You had a lot of guys that got on you early because you were playing these freshmen instead of running the score up, and now you go back to that game and it's 3 of the 4 touchdowns from Cato go to freshmen.
I'm not
that
sure.
really proved the point of it's time to get these guys in the game because you're going to need them.
Yeah, there's no question, and I don't know who got on me. Was it Doug or was it?
No, it's other people inside this.
But no, I'm just absentee reporter, but I probably could guess who it was, but I won't do that, right? You know, I think, but, you know, I've said all along, and I've said from day one that, you know, playing those guys at some point, you're going to need them. And, you know, if you hadn't gotten the Yurcheks and Heiligs and all those guys in the game, not just those guys, but the offensive line, the defensive line, that at this point in the year, you know, they wouldn't be able to play like they are. So there's no doubt it's helped us. And if I had to do it over again, I'd do it the same way, because we're a better football team because of it. There's no question.
How integral has Tommy been in Heilig's progression? Because Heilig was saying that as soon as he walked on campus, Tommy kind of looked at him and said, no, you come with me, and you stay with me, and that's it.
And that's what good football teams do. And, you know, you watched when Heilig scored that touchdown, not only at Southern Miss, or we thought it was a touchdown at Southern Miss, but you watched when he scored that touchdown Saturday, the first guy to get there was Tommy. I thought he was going to get a penalty because he had his helmet off running down the field, you know, towards him. But, you know, he was happy for him. But that's good. You know, that's a positive. He was not selfish. He's not concerned about him not getting that catch and all that. He was happy for what happened for Heilig, and that's what good teams do.
Same way, I mean, Fro and Yurchek, to listen to those two talking, you would think that they're brothers a little bit, because they stay on each other, but Yurchek said that Fro's really helping out.
No question. And, you know, those guys played extremely well Saturday. You know, I think between the two of them, they had 10 catches or whatever they had. And, you know, Yurchek's going to be a really good player, really good. And Fro's helped him develop. And, you know, we could tease Jaspers all the time about being Selby's dad. And you got Jaspers helping Selby, and you got Tommy with the young guys. So it's all good. It's all good. And like I say, we just got to keep it going.
After that third down catch that Yurchek made on the sideline, which the defender had defended pretty well, he made his fingertip grab. How important was it for you all to sort of go back to him and reward him for making that catch?
No, that was a great catch. I mean, you see that on tape. It's amazing. Number one, Cato made that throw. It was a great throw and great catch. And, you know, it was just, and I'm not sure we actually went back to him because he made that catch. It just happened. He was in there, and in the next play, he ended up catching the touchdown pass. But he's a good player.
How nice was it to see the team get back to, like, before a previous couple games you guys went down in the game? How nice was it to see the team kind of go back to what it was before, you know, getting on teams and then finishing?
Well, it's always great to start fast, but, you know, it's not going to happen 12 straight weeks. You know, it's not going to work that way. You're going to have some adversity, in some games, and we've overcome it. But you'd like to start fast every game. For the most part, we have. But it's not going to happen every week. But it's always, I guarantee, as a coach, it's a hell of a lot nicer than the other way. That's for sure. But it was good to see.
Getting back to Tom, I mean, this is a kid who's caught 100 passes a year the last 2 years, and here you are 10 games in, he's only caught 47. And in a lot of places and a lot of players, you know, that number drops off that much. You hear grumbling, a guy starts kind of getting distant, the guy starts kind of, just not staying dialed in. It just doesn't sound like that with him. I mean, how important has that aspect been for this season, that you have a guy who just says, you know what, and I think he said us, we've gotten our numbers, that's cool, we just want to win now. And he seems to be like the epitome of that.
Well, he is, and Cato too. And you know, I think when we first started talking about the three things that can keep us from getting where we want to go, was number one was complacency. You know, if we think we've arrived, we haven't. You know, we got to go out there every day and practice and get better. And the second thing I pounded constantly was selfishness. You know, if the team, if you're more important than the team, we got no chance. And there is no selfishness on this team, from Tommy to Cato to all the way around. And the last thing we talked about was accountability, hold each other accountable. And you guys have kind of hit on that with Fro, with Yurachek, and Tommy with Holliday, and you know, all those guys hold each other accountable, and they constantly do that. Cato with Tommy, the whole deal. And that's what good teams do. You know, teams that were, you know, guys are worried more about stats and this and that, are teams that get beat, and teams don't get where they want to go. So I'm really proud of the football team because of how they respond, how they like, you know, they like being around each other. They play extremely hard. They're only concerned about one thing, and that's winning. And when you got that kind of attitude on your team and the kind of leadership we have, you got a chance.
How do you combat all the noise with the college football playoff rankings? Because it's everywhere. I mean, we walk around town, people ask us about it, they ask you about it. You know, these guys are inundated by it. They go home to watch TV and it's on. Like, how have you really kept them? It seems like everybody we talk to is on even keel and not even worried about it.
You ask our guys about it too. I heard you, but you know, we talk about that all the time. I mean, we talked about early on about the expectations, but they understand you got a responsibility to go to work. You know, and you know, one thing that I try to do and get across to those guys is eliminate the noise. You know, only worry about what you can control. We can't control any of that. But what we can control is the way we prepare, you know, the way we go to do our job on the practice field, the way we go to work every day. You know, those are things that we need to worry about and things we can control. And at the end of the day, we'll look up. I mean, right now, nothing matters. I mean, it all can go out the window really quick. If you don't go prepared, you go get beat, you know, all right? We're not you know, that all goes away. So it's just important for this week, and then we'll look up and see what we got next and do this for 3 more weeks and see where we are. And if we take care of business and work extremely hard, then there's a chance that that dream could come true. But if you go any other direction at this point, that's not going to happen. So our kids do, I think they understand that, and we work really hard to make sure that they do.
You think it motivates them a little bit, Doc, in the back of their minds where they don't say it out loud?
It could. I hope it does. I mean, whatever, you know, we'll take any type of motivation. But I think as hard as our football team has worked in the off season and throughout camp and all that, I think there's enough motivation there that they want to be really good. They want to reach their goals and dreams, and I think they really don't care about. I'm not sure they really care about what anybody else thinks. It's only about what everybody thinks it's out there in that indoor today that's working hard to get where we want to go.
5 years ago, whenever you decided to come to Marshall, this particular scenario is exactly what you envisioned it.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I felt that you know, I'd seen it. You know, it's been a long time ago, but I'd seen, you know, the success that's been here and the championships that were won. And I say when I took the job, I didn't want to be anywhere where, number one, expectations weren't extremely high, but also it didn't have a chance to win championships. And, you know, we're getting closer. So.
I have to ask a question. I've seen your name pop up a little bit. I don't know if you list for the U.A.B. job. Your reaction?
I'm just right now, I'm only concerned about being the head football coach at Marshall. And, you know, I've never been happier coaching football than I am right now. And I'm concerned about one thing and one thing only, and that's getting this football team prepared to go play, period. I mean, I haven't even thought about anything else, so I'm not going to. Okay, thanks.